I find this dichotomy between music and the business side of it quite fascinating, and I've talked to other artists about it. But how have you experienced it over the years, trying to balance kind of the business side of it, but then also the creative, and like you say, staying true to yourself?
Well, I really enjoy it. I think it's like, I think that I really enjoy, you know, I really enjoy the process of putting out records. I like the people that I meet, you know. I like that there's, all throughout the music business, there are people who do it because they love music, you know, and increasingly more so as you know, it requires more creativity to make a living making music. Then you meet more people who are willing to try new things and do interesting experiments and like take a chance, and those are the people I like to hang out with. Yeah.
Okay. Well, moving towards the record, then, were there a couple of songs that kind of functioned as a blueprint or key songs that kind of shaped what would come after?
I think that, well, I certainly started off with some songs that I was very adamant that I wanted to have on the record. The song like Myrna Loy or Dreams were weirder songs that I felt needed a spot on the record that was just perfect. There was early songs that I wrote for the record, such as Cry Softly and Showboat, which took me in a direction which was novel to me and different, and like just which I had to say, this is not a song that sounds like me at all, but I wrote it, so I'm gonna stick by it, you know. But the songs on this record came in all forms, and I found that the real challenge was staying open to them, you know, no matter what. I recorded about 30 songs, and the ones that I felt were really the ones that captured my life in that moment were the ones that I kept.
Well, let's talk about Myrna Loy first.
Sure.
A US stage actress and television star, I believe.
Yeah.
Where did your infatuation with her come from?
I was in a hotel room somewhere and having trouble sleeping like normal, and there was a classic movie station on, and a movie called The Thin Man came on with William Powell and Myrna Loy, and Myrna Loy was just so funny. She's like such a funny, like smart, cool actor, and I loved. I just kind of thought she like made this movie into such a great film, and it was late at night. I looked her up on the internet. I saw she was from Montana, which is very close to where I'm from, and I thought, well, I was struck. I wanted to write something kind of surreal, and you know, something long form and a tribute to this person that I knew very little about, but that I got an image of, you know.
And can you take me through that process? Do you then just start writing words down, or is it music or melodies that come into your head first?
It came into my head almost like a deck of tarot cards, you know. There's like a lot of songwriting deals with archetypes, and I find that like with a song like Myrna Loy, what I'm trying to do is turn over card after card with a new image on each card, almost moving through a deck of a new set of tarot, and that like those images should feel iconic and powerful, and then move on to the next. You know, it's almost like you're not painting a picture so much as designing a new deck of cards.
And well, you mentioned that when you write them at first, you don't really know what they are about. So when you reflect on them after a couple of months, do they change a lot from your first kind of interpretation?
They do change. I would say that the preoccupations are that are in them. You know, each song is about something different, but things jump out at you know, they come out of the songs. And you know, for this record, what really came out of it were storms. You know, there was storms all over the record, and I noticed them everywhere. and they became sort of the backbone. The talking about storms became the backbone for the way I could understand the record and how to put the record together.
Right.
Yeah, and it's something that when you're working and you're writing really fast, you're kind of you're just doing your best to describe what's happening as it's happening, and you don't really know. You don't have a larger view of the record until later, which I think is magic. I think that's a magic part. My favorite part is standing back and looking and seeing what happens.
In what time frame were these songs written?
Over the course of about a year.
Okay. And in that year, like say, we're living in a tumultuous world these days. Did it help? Did it help writing about it? And kind of...
I would say that writing during a time like this is, I feel lucky to have an outlet, a creative outlet of some way of talking about things. I have trouble communicating in other ways, and like writing songs is a way for me to contextualize what's happening in the world, to describe it, to make it seem a little bit less chaotic and scary to myself. So yeah, it does help me. It doesn't. It's, I think and I think a lot of people feel this way. I think there's an amazing amount of incredible music coming out right now, and a lot of people are tapped into the strangeness of this time and to the ugliness of this time, and trying to do something that is beautiful with it.
Yeah, I wrote a quote down. I have to find it, but I think you posted it on Facebook or something, where that music somehow manages to survive and matter amidst the chaos seems ever more miraculous. So is that kind of what?
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I believe that. You know, and I think we see how powerful it is when strangers gather together in a room to take part in something. We're all taking part in music. I think that's one of the most and we've seen how terrifying it can be to people. I mean, the attacks that have gone on, in music venues and festivals, are, these are people that are gathered together to take in music, like the rawest form of human emotion and expression of human emotion, and it can be terrifying to people, and it's important, it's powerful, and it's important to keep on doing it.
Right. Does it worry you, in a sense, because, like you say, those music venues seem to be targeted in some way?
I feel that if I feel profoundly lucky to be able to bring something like that I feel is beautiful into the world, and no one wants to die, no one wants anybody to get hurt, but to stop creating because you're afraid is kind of abdication of your responsibility. Like I'll always be on stage. And well, the record has been out for a couple of weeks. Yeah.
What have you noticed about how people react to it?
I'm thrilled that people are reacting good. I mean, this is my 9th record. I'm not new to the party, and I really tried to recreate what I'm doing on this record, and I'm very happy that people are finding songs that they enjoy and want to hear. I'm very happy to be playing it now with the band, and excited to really take this show on the road. It's exciting. It's good. It's been received so well.
And like you mentioned, the songs are sonically a bit different than at times than what you're used to. So did that pose any difficulties or challenges going into the live shows?
What I think is important is that you shouldn't record a record so that you can play it exactly the same way live. I think that it's important to you get a chance to make a record, to do whatever you want, to make it sound however you want. We have the ability to do whatever we want now with music, and let's get weird. Let's do something strange. And then later on, it's up to you how you want to approach that with the band. But oftentimes trying to achieve something live that you've done in a studio leads you to a whole new set of sounds, and the live performance and the recording really push each other, and there's a real friction there, which I think is powerful and useful, and like oftentimes really electrifying.
Finally, then, the album is called The Gathering.
Gathering, yes.
When did you decide on that title?
I chose Gathering as a title late in the process, and when I began to see that I had been writing about storms the whole time, and I thought of gathering as like the gathering of a storm, the gathering of clouds, but the gathering of people together, the gathering of a group of songs, the gathering of musicians in a room, the pulling together of something, and gathering itself is such a magical sounding word. I don't know why, it just grabbed me.
All right. Josh, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Awesome.
All right.